Man, we are getting this offer quite often. Communism will win. I mean, after... Oh yeah, I think we're just gonna get them quite often in the Series 3 and 4. The name will definitely pop up quite often. But the last one we had from them was actually the one that I... 2496. That was the one I had to reread. Which was the multiple choice test that if you spend 2 hours on it, you will get the all the correct answers, no problem. Like you will be able to like get 100% correct on the answers for that one. And you can even the way the tests are done can also be done in vastly different ways. It doesn't all have to be about writing. You can literally do about like jumping into hoops or anything like that. Like that, it allows you to do that however you want. So, communism will win. You wrote extraterrestrial broadcaster. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SB2525. Yeah, that's fun to say. Is contained in a 1.5 meter PMMA tube with a laser motion detection system positioned 0.5 meters from the floor. Tracking of the laser will send alerts to Site Director Bresescu and researcher Ross and Krasniewski. The researcher on duty is to report immediately to -1's room and monitor the subject during and after the activation events to ensure proper transmission recording. Actually, I need to do something real quick before I forget it. Sorry guys. Give me like a hot second. Actually, no. This takes. Now that I think about it, this will take longer. No, never mind. I will not do this during stream. I'm going to do that afterwards. -1 is going. There's a researcher on duty to report immediately to -1's room and monitor the subjects during and after the activation event to ensure proper transmission recording. -1 is contained in standard living quarters. -1 is allowed limited escorted access to non-critical areas of Site 22 for exercise and mental stimulation, as approved by Site Director. -1 security clearance has been officially revoked and is not to come into contact with other contained objects. Though currently cooperative, and any indication of deception on -1's part will result in disciplinary action as seen fit by the Site Director. Our recordings made by -1 are on file on level 4 security clearance servers. New recordings are to be read in full by the Site Director after the completion of each activation event. Description: SB2525 is a metal and polymer cylinder, 40 cm high and 9 cm in diameter, with a 3-fin tripod at one end. Approximately 80% of its internal volume is filled with a viscous substance, the identification of which, along with that of the metal and polymer, has thus far been impossible. Once every 8 to 32 days, SB2525 will activate and rise 1 meter into the air. It will remain in place for 10 to 12 seconds before returning to its initial position. During this active phase, SB2525 emits a bright green light and the substance in its interior appears to boil. SB2525 active state indicates the reception of a transmission by -1, formerly junior researcher T.L. Information contained in these transmissions is primarily composed of strategic and tactical schematics detailing stages of an invasion of Earth, with Site 22 as a staging point by an extraterrestrial civilization. On occasion, transmissions include propaganda and motivational speeches directed at the previous owner of SB2525, as well as information about the Earth and its inhabitant. The source of these transmissions is currently unknown. SB2525 was recovered along with a creature of extraterrestrial origin, current designation -N. For more information about the recovery of SB2525, refer to file document -A pendant. Addendum: analysis of transmission has shown that the entities broadcasting them have some degree of access to the mind of the subjects receiving the transmission. Dashman retained limited level 1 security clearance to continue his work with the Foundation after his encounter with SB2525, but this has been revoked as of due to the near complete plan of Site 22 already having been leaked. It has been determined that -1 may have access to non-essential areas. Amnestics have been administered to prevent further broadcast of sensitive information. File document A. Oh, Oh, this is a whole different. Ooh, this is longer than I expected. Item SB2525 object class Keller neutralized. Special containment procedures. SB2525 is to be contained in a 5x5x3 meter enclosure constructed of reinforced steel. The containment cell is to be. It just said document A, right? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Reinforced steel. The containment cell is to be surrounded by a secondary 20-meter radius containment unit with remotely activated electrified panels in the floor and walls. The cell is to have no windows and only a single reinforced high security door. SB2525 is to be constantly monitored via a closed-circuit camera secured behind bulletproof glass. Any damage to the containment cell is to be reported immediately to the head of Mobile Task Force Omicron 9, Sound and Fury, who will initiate Protocol 2525 filigree if repairs are deemed necessary. Refer to Protocol Document 2525 filigree for information. Dash 1 is contained in a 1.5 meter PMMA tube with a laser motion detection system positioned. That seems to be pretty much the same tracking of the laser will alert Dr. Clark and the head of MTF Omicron 9, who shall initiate Protocol 2525 Alcatraz immediately. MTF Omicron 9 personnel involving in Protocol 2525 Alcatraz are to be outfitted in heavy armor with one high voltage stun baton and one high voltage taser per member. One member must also carry a short range ultrasound emission device. See Protocol Document 2525 Alcatraz for specification. Personnel with Mobile Task Force Omicron 9 must rank above 90th percentile on the Foundation Standard Test of Mental Fortitude and above 95th percentile on the Foundation Standard Test of Physical Endurance. Description: SB2525 is a humanoid creature of extraterrestrial origin, 2.3 meters in height and weighing 145 kilograms. It possesses 2 sets of mandibles, compound eyes, membranous waned wings, and a second set of vestigial arms thought to be used in mating. The upper arms measure over 1.4 meters in each and are tipped with 3 digits, the middle one 0.3 meters in length. It is covered in plates of chitin that render it extremely resistant to standard weaponry, but do not impede its movement. Testing has revealed susceptibilities to electric current in excess of 1000 V and concentrates sound with a frequency in excess of 1.5 MHz. SB2525 is agile, strong, and highly intelligent. It is hostile to humans, having attacked personnel on site without provocation on numerous occasions. The long digit on each of its upper arms can puncture plate steel, and it spends a significant amount of time attempting to breach containment by damaging the walls of its cells. It has also breached containment on separate occasions by dismantling seams holding its containment cell together, necessitating improvements to construction and repair initiatives. See Protocol Document 2525 filigree. During containment breaches and occasions when personnel are required to enter containment with it, it displays aggressive and predatory behavior, attacking from high angles and using traps to ensnare personnel. SB2525 communicates via clicks and high-frequency sounds inaudible to the human ear, as well as direct mind telepathy with a range of 12 meters. Testing has demonstrated no ability to direct human thought or actions, and thus this communication method is considered the safest until such time as its spoken language is translated. It appears to understand spoken language, though it is speculated that this might be due to telepathic influence. SB2525 was recovered after an explosion reported in the Cascade Range on recovered along with SB2525 were a piece of a large craft currently in storage at site and a metal and polymer cylinder designated -1. -1 is a 40 centimeters high and 9 centimeters in diameter with a 3-fin tripod at one end. Approximately 80% of its internal volume is filled with once every 8 to 3rd activate and rise 1 meter. During this activate, diagonal image right there. -1 is active state is a signal indicating the Is this all the same here? Let me just double check. Not fully. -1's active state is a signal indicating the reception of a transmission by SB2525. The nature of information contained in this transmission cannot be directly ascertained. Save by interviews conducted with SB2525. At this time, SB2525 has given a consistent account of the information, consisting of propaganda and motivational speeches, information about Earth and human civilization, and plans for an invasion of the Earth with Site-22 as a staging point. Source of information is unknown, though SCP-2525 claims that the information comes from its home world. The location of that world is unknown. The gathering of information broadcast by Dash 1 has been labeled a Class 1 priority. Log of incident Alpha 12 Dash 1 activated at 12:56 on while Dr. Clark was undergoing an off-site medical procedure. Junior researcher T. L. filled in Dr. Clark during protocol 2525 Alcatraz. Though junior researcher L. has studied audio recordings of SCP-2525 in depth, this incident marks the first time he and SCP-2525 communicate directly. Incident report is compiled from security footage and post-incident interviews. 12:57 Protocol 2525 Alcatraz initiated. Members of MTF Omicron 9 successfully enter containment and subdue SCP-2525. 13:04 Junior Researcher L enters containment and begins interview. SCP-2525 demands to know Dr. Clark's location. Junior Researcher L visibly reels from experiencing telepathy for the first time. Junior Researcher waives assistance from MTF member and informs SCP-2525 that Dr. Clark is unavailable. Interview proceeds. 13:45 significant increase in duration of interview noted due to a high degree of uncooperativeness from SCP-2525. SCP-2525 divulges information deemed only minorly significant and Protocol 2525 Alcatraz is rescinded. During retreat of personnel from containment cell, SCP-2525 noted to be less active than normal. According to Junior Researcher L, SCP-2525 asked twice more for Dr. Clark's whereabouts. Not to be insensitive, but I'm formally suggesting that Dr. Clark chemotherapy sessions be conducted on site from now on, if at all possible. In case the cylinder decides to activate during one again, SCP-2525 doesn't trust me, and I'm fairly certain it doesn't like me either. That was like pulling teeth. Junior Researcher T. L. Log of incident Alpha 13 on Dr. Clark requested and was granted permission to enter SCP-2525's containment unit accompanied by MTF Omicron 9. Dr. Clark banged on the containment cell door and conversed with SCP-2525. Transcript of Dr. Clark's side of the conversation follows. SCP-2525, it's Nathaniel Clark. What's this I hear about you giving my assistant trouble in my absence? Well, I've been sick. I'm getting treatment for it. But I may not always be around for your interviews. I expect you to give him the same cooperation you gave me. Am I clear? Not at all. Been hard at work translating your spoken language. He's good at it. Would you like us to be able to communicate a little more directly? All you need to know is that things may be this way for some time. It depends on how well my treatments go. If I catch wind of any more incidents, your incarceration may become significantly more uncomfortable. Do you understand? At this point, one of SCP-2525's claws punctured the containment cell wall 0.2 meters above Dr. Clark's head. MTF personnel subdued SCP-2525 with electric shocks and escorted Dr. Clark from the containment unit. Protocol 2525 filigree was enacted without incident. My oncologist is willing, so I shall do whatever is necessary to ease the burden for Junior Researcher L. I do request his continued involvement in Protocol 2525 Alcatraz, however, to help acclimate SCP-2525 to his presence. Dr. Nathaniel Clark. Yeah, makes sense. Log of incident Alpha 22. Note this is the first interview with SCP-2525 after Dr. Clark's death. Transcript of audible conversation from Junior Researcher L follows. No, he's not here today. He died. I appreciate it if you... Don't give me that. It's not like you care about him or anything. Bullshit. Zap it. Electrical shocks are applied to SCP-2525. I'm not interested in talking about him, okay? It's just a standard interview and you're not making things any. At this point, SCP-2525 roared and broke restrained despite application of all 4 shock batons and 1 taser. Junior Researcher L fled the containment unit and MTF personnel were overpowered. The ultrasound device malfunctioned and was destroyed in the incident. All 5 MTF personnel were ejected from the containment cell. And SCP-2525 slammed the door shut. Only minor injuries were reported. Breach protocols were enacted. After conferring with Agent M and Site Director Procescu, Junior Researcher L re-entered the containment unit along with backup MTF personnel. SCP-2525 was audible through the containment cell wall. SCP-2525, are you listening? He wants us to go away. Protocol 2525 Alcatraz is still in effect. Get it talking. Like, we actually have protocol for a situation like this. SCP-2525, if you are still willing to cooperate, it would be acceptable to continue the interview speaking as we are now. SCP-2525. SCP-2525 orders vocalization for 81 seconds while personnel converse. Jesus, I think it's actually broken up about Dr. Clark. I heard his name in there twice. Are you kidding me? I swear that sounded like can save him or could save him. I don't know, the conditional mood is really... SCP-2525 utters a loud roar ending in a shriek. Get the researcher out of here and get the door open. The containment door... the containment cell door was jammed and required 20 minutes with an acetylene torch open. MTF Omicron 9 was able to secure the cell and discovered SCP-2525 had been decapitated. Oh shit. That's why it's terminated. Object was classified neutralized on -1 reclassified as an anomalous object. That's why SCP-2525 is now just a tube. Gotcha. Addendum incident Alpha 23, 21 days after incident Alpha 22, anomalous object 25341 activated. Personnel inside 22 lunchroom at the time reported a beam of green light entering Junior Researcher L. Containment was reinstated and the object classified SCP-2525, and that's the full document here. So now we have interview dash security clearance level 4/2525 required. Interview -1 formerly researcher Researcher Krasniewski. Logged interview requested by -1. Okay. -1, please state for the record your reason for requesting this interview. I want to make perfectly clear my desire to continue cooperating with the Foundation in regards to SCP-2525. I also want to clear up the record on 2525-N. It is -N now, right? Correct. Please proceed. Okay. I have said something about it sooner, but ever since being declared a skip, my life has been kind of... Take your time. Yeah, thank you. Anyway. All we ever knew about SCP-2525 or where it was from came from these interviews we conducted with -N. Well, it turns out they were all lies. SCP-2525 was lying to us from the very beginning and kept up a ruse, an absolutely mind-blowing charade for the entire time we had it contained. Go on. For starters, its people aren't hell-bent on invading us, they're actually trying to help us. Having seen what's in those broadcasts now, it's all plans for advanced technology, into the future. There's generally ways to improve human life. And not just our life, they have a whole bunch of those cylinders spread across the universe, beaming into info to any race they consider primitive. So all the invasion plans, completely made up. It was just pretending to be soldier or whatever. I don't know what its reasons were, but there's a lot of come back to the fold jargon in between the schematics for new medical procedures and stuff. How much of this did Dr. Clark know? That I'm never gonna know that either. I guess he knew some. Maybe he suspected. Oh, wait, maybe or suspected, but he didn't confide in me a whole lot. Either way, SCP-2525 got attached to him and even though he kept up the deception, well, it respected him, saw him as an intellectual equal. That's pretty much the last thing he told me before it killed itself. I see. Is there anything else you would like to add? Well, I would have written it down so I could remember it. I can remember if I had anything to write with, because like, never mind. All I'll say is I don't know why Cylinder is sending stuff to me now, to me specifically. I guess because I was with SCP-2525 when it died, maybe. I don't know. The process, by the way, it's like all of a sudden, I just remembered something I forgot. Except, it's not anything I could have known. If that is all, we complete this interview. Hey, Stella? Yeah? -1. You mean? Look, I don't know how to request stuff now. My security clearance is short and I can't access any of my old projects, but I need something to do or I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. When you see if maybe I could get a hold of SCP-2525-N's all audio logs, I was making a lot of progress translating the language. I'll ask for what it's worth. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It's going to get hushed up the instant this interview is over. Giant berserker aliens are one thing, but not even the Foundation willing to admit they want to save us. But not even the Foundation is willing to admit they want to save us. Oh, okay. Close statement. In light of -1's previous contributions to the Foundation, a loose containment protocol has been enacted to provide it with physical and mental stimulation contingent on continued divulgence of all information. General access containment procedures are not to include this information pursuant to Blackout Order -145. Alright, file document 2525-N- security clearance level 4/2525-N required. Dr. Clark recorded a number of files intended to be accessed after his death. The following is a transcript of the recording dated detailing his thoughts on -N. The time is 1:45 in the morning. I want to talk about SCP-2525. This creature is as marvelous as he is dangerous, and yet there's something about the way he acts that leads me to wonder. I myself wrote the containment procedures, and there's no doubt that personnel... Oh god. The personnel have been attacked without provocation. Yet the more I reflect back upon those incidents, the more I realize that never has SCP-2525 actually killed anyone. Oh yes, there have been deaths, many times from injuries sustained at the end of those grand blades, but I will have to check back over the record to be certain, a task which I'm afraid I lack the luxury of time to complete. On no occasions was the wound itself fatal. Blood loss occurred due to delays in re-establishing containment that prevented direct medical assistance, or the person was thrown against a wall and rendered unconscious. There's also the niggling factor of its story, an enigma I have allowed myself not to ponder for fear of where such a path might lead me. It's a boon that I oversee so many containment objects, for I have been able to tell myself that I simply haven't the time necessary to devote to think about one in particular. I will now lay out the pieces as I see them, so that my successor might piece together that which I cannot. Which I will not. SCP-2525 is monstrously intelligent. One need only watch security footage of this last containment breach to understand that. Yet he spends his days scrapping at the walls of his containment unit and attacking anything in its path. These are not actions of being of reasons, which his race must be in order to craft such devices as were recovered with him. It would stand to reason that he is but a soldier, an advanced scout sent to test our waters ahead of the invasion, but nor does the archetype of a mindless berserker fit with the conversation he and I have had when not under the duress of the stunned baton. And another thing, prior to Protocol 2525 Alcatraz, we had no conception of what SCP-2525-1 was doing. Yet after his creation, do we yet perceive the transmission supposedly flooding into SCP-2525's mind? We cannot, and nor can we, trust a single word of these interviews. Interrogation, I should call them. Has interrogation been by torture not been proven again and again an inefficient and unreliable means of information extraction? It is my wholehearted belief that a large percentage of not all of what SCP-2525 has told us has been fabrication. What the truth might be behind those lies, I can but guess. It has been some time since I looked back over the reports gained from those interrogations, but if I did, well, I can only suspect holes would appear in the narrative. We have a hostile intelligent liar in our facility and nothing to show for it. We shall never have anything to show for it with our current approach to its containment. But that is a two-way street, is it not? Pause of 52 seconds. I'm not certain I should say this, but this disease will no doubt have rendered my tenure moot by the time this is heard. So damn the consequences. I think SCP-2525 is lonely. He does the things he does not because he wants to, but because he feels he must. And this separates him from his own kind. This conclusion I have reached due to having had him inside my mind. There's no way to write down everything he says when he communicates in concept more than words. I, for instance, know his name, but I cannot even begin to comprehend how to say it, for it has never been said to me. SCP-2525 is a creature of intellect, as I have previously said, and I believe he views me in much of the same light. No doubt you will think me foolish for what I am about to say. If it makes you feel better, blame it on the chemicals coursing through my veins that have drained my strength and will more than any cancer could. I think SCP-2525 sees me as a friend. There's a sadness underlying every forced confession that lightens when he speaks directly to me as an equal. Even though he attacks me, it comes off as a maintenance of a charade. Part of me that cries the necessary to keep him locked up and treated so. We could learn so much from his kind, but I have devoted myself life to science. As a scientist, must act only upon the observable. A foolish sentiment, no doubt. That would be all for this one, and I think that's all we have anyway. Yeah. Oh, that is a little bit sad, eh? He was definitely very sad when Dr. Clark passed away. He probably committed suicide. He just didn't want to live while Dr. Clark was gone, which is a sad thing to do. It's always sad when that happens. It happens in real life too, which is, yeah. Just, guys, just be there for each other. We go through so much shit in our world. Like, I hope you all have somebody that you can truly say they're here for me, I'm here for them, through thick and thin. But if they one day are not around, do not give up. Keep living and going strong for their sake. And even though this, at the end, the idea of like replacing that special bond seems painful, find another person who can give you the same feeling. Because at the end, we all have to be there for each other. If we don't, we will fall apart.